Welcome back to Gundahar tutorials. Today we look at another little detail which you can add to your sawmill, which is probably the core of the sawmill by itself. It's the saw, which you can see here in the background. It's an animation, and it looks like that it's, well, actually sawing the log, which is lying right under it, into their proper pieces. Yeah, so not much else to say then. Let's see how it's done. The first component of our saw is the pulse giver, and for that we use a redstone comparator, like here so, then two redstone dusts, then on this side here a repeater, and then we can connect it to the side, and then if we add now a switch to it, activate it, and change here to the subtraction mode, then we get this very nice pulse, which you can also alter the frequency. It really depends on how much or how fast you want to have your saw running at the end. For the second part, we can first build the decoration. And for that, we place down the log where we want to saw it in bits and pieces. For example, over here, then somewhere in the middle, you can make one block out. And then you have to dig down like 3 blocks where you can place the piston, and then on top of it you place a spruce log, for example. So, and on top of that we can now add iron bars, which will be the actual saw. So now the idea is that the piston on the upper part pushes all this down, and then it activates the mechanism, which then triggers the piston below and pushes the bars up again. So you get this little saw going up and down in a rapid fashion. So now, for the necessary redstone, I really like the idea to use the spruce leaves here, because then you can actually make it a bit thinner. It would also work to use the just an observer here, but by using the observer here, let's get rid of it a bit, you always get a signal if the log block leaves or gets right next to the leaf block. Otherwise you might get a bit more strange signals, but well, this is my way, and so you get a 2-white redstone mechanism here. And then what else you need is just a little repeater for the piston going in here, and then you can connect this up. And now each time this log block gets pushed down, the observer activates and activates the piston again, which pushes it up again. Wonderful. For the upper part, we can now build a little contraption such that it looks like there would be a mechanism going to the front and giving our saw the necessary impulse to actually go down again. And of course, we need also on this position here a piston. Like so. You can also go a bit more up here and hide it, and probably just let another log block look out, because this way you could, for example, completely cover it up that there is a piston going on. You could even go a bit higher than that. For example, let's do it like this. And you put 2 log blocks under it, and then you really don't see anything going on from below. And then you can make the wire go attached to it. Just pull one of your clock, of your pulse generator, right up to the piston, and now it would extend whenever the signal is activated. So we won't connect it up. Let's see how if it works. Perfect. Now, of course, we need that wasn't very smart. We need this to connect up. So we enter here or add here the missing bar. And now if we could also destroy here this front row to have a bit of an overview, and then you can patch up this hole. And yes, you can see here, you don't see any piston action going on down there, and also on the upper part. And now let's see if it works. Well, nope. Well, we did a small mistake, but it's a very small one, which is basically if we connect this now already up, then of course the pistons can't push anything. So what we have to do is to delete one of these bars here, and then we have to jumpstart this lower part here, for example, by just destroying this leaf block once, and then it gets pushed up, and now the pistons have space to extract. So now another question is about the frequency, because if you leave it now this way, then you see here that it's a lot slower than the one I showed you. So what we have to do here is to get the proper timing up here, because you can see that it would be triggering way more often than it actually extracts. So the timing I used at my sawmill was basically to have 2 repeaters here, which should now actually give the proper signal speed. And yeah, you can already see that the saw here is now much more speedy, and which is our goal. I hope you like this little tutorial about an actual working sawmill. Of course, it doesn't really work, and thus is only visually pleasing. It makes a lot of noise, as it seems, but still, it's a nice addition for your sawmill, and to have something animated, which is always a great thing. So I hope you like this tutorial, and as always, please leave a like, please leave a comment. Maybe you could also show me where do you use this sawmill in action. Would love to see that. And also, if you have any suggestions, then go down to the comments and leave them. I also like to read some thumbs up. It's always nice to see some feedback. So, not much else to say then. See you in the next one, and have a good time. Ciao!